wrestling fans, and we are the degenerates that want to talk about it. This is Kicking At It Too. I am Michael. With me, as always, is Tori. Hey, Tori.
Hello.
Today we are going to talk about Friday Night Smackdown, and man, what a show! Um, so many cool things happening. I watched half of it in the car ride on the way back home, and then I watched the rest while I was cooking burgers tonight. But good lord, such a good show. I'm going to read through the transcripts of this, and we're going to talk about the things that we found fun and interesting about the show. These transcripts come from Bleacher Report, as usual. But we started off with the Bloodline just absolutely wrecking the place.
Again.
Yeah, again, leading to Roman coming out. Roman gets on the mic and, normal thing, acknowledge me. And of course, everybody does. And he says, we're going to start this off differently than we normally do because I want to hear from the honorary Oos himself. He gives the mic to Zayn. Zayn does a wonderful job of like, hey, this is the year of the Bloodline. We're going to run this place. This is our year. I didn't even notice that Roman still had a mic. So he puts the mic back to his lips and he goes, hey, that's all good, but I don't want to talk about this year. I want to talk about last year. And you immediately see the look on Sammy's face go, oh shit.
This whole, like we said after last week's SmackDown, I'm like, I can't wait to see Roman's response to this.
Mm-hmm.
This is easily the best thing they've ever done for Roman and with Roman. Like, this is the best mic work, character work, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. So he says he wants to talk about last year, and he goes, if everybody, you remember what happened last week, right? Like we had one of the biggest matches, the biggest match in SmackDown for last year, and some would say that we lost, and then he started laughing, and this weird unraveling of the tribal chief is so good because he's laughing, and it's obvious that it's a slightly off kilter.
It's a maniacal laugh.
Yeah. And then he goes, I have a different opinion on that because my shoulders weren't on the mat.
I didn't lose.
I didn't lose. Sammy
What
did.
did I say? What did I say when we talked about this last week?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I guarantee Roman's like, I didn't lose. You lost. Yep. I didn't lose. And that's 100% what he did.
Absolutely. And so, like, it looks like he's just pushing off the blame of the loss, and Sammy's like, he's kind of smiling, he's nodding, he's like, yeah, I'm the one that lost, And then Roman just kind of under his breath says, but why'd you call your shot, though? Why are you out here trying to be Babe Ruth and then not following through? Like, I call my shot. That's what I do. And I never lose, and I never fail. So we're always okay. So why are you out here trying to be me?
Are you trying to be the tribal chief?
Are you trying to be the tribal chief? Oh, and he's like talking to air at that point, but then all of a sudden he just turns at Sam and he goes, Are you trying to be me? Are you trying to be the tribal chief? Are you trying to run the bloodline? Raising his voice as he go along to the point where he just like yells at him.
Sammy looks terrified.
Oh yeah, he is cowering in the corner like dude's got a belt. Oh my god.
I need more of this.
And just when you think it's going to get to the point where like he's going to do something about it, KO's music hits. KO comes out, goes, good.
My first thought was, did KO just save Sammy?
Kind of. Which I think is why we end up where we end up, but we'll talk about that here shortly. So he comes out and he grabs the mic and goes, whoa. Like, you're not mad at Sammy. You're mad at me. I'm the one.
What I'm talking about. I almost feel like this is one of those when it finally happens that Sammy and Kevin are going to be like, this was the whole plan. This was the
Hmm.
plan the whole time. After what happened with Solo, when I lost the title, when I lost that match, Sammy and I got together, and this was the plan the whole time.
I kind of see it two ways. And one is they planned this together. The second one is Kevin planned the entail of this. Kevin's the one who said, I'm cutting you off. I'm not doing it. And it was all part of his plan at that point of I'm gonna get him so riled up about this because he can't quit me. And I can't quit him, and we know that.
Right.
And so at the end of this, when Sammy is at his lowest, Kevin's gonna pick him back up and go, look, I planned this to show you what this was
What they
really
would
about.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but either way, like it's going to be massive once this ends. But so he continues to tell him, he's like, I'm the one that stunned you. I'm the one that won the match. Like you're mad at me. You're not mad at him. You got a KO problem, and I think there's only one way you can take care of that, and that's you and me Royal Rumble for the title. He goats him into accepting that match.
KO is amazing on the microphone.
Oh yeah,
Just, he is one of the best to make. He doesn't have to get loud. He doesn't have to do anything specific. Just the way he talks and presents things makes it good.
yeah. He talks in conversation, and that's what I like about it. Like everything he says, he's just talking. He's not doing a
Well,
promo. He's not doing a bit.
right, and
He's just talking.
even when he got riled up with Elias, it was still the same kind of riled up you would get in a conversation.
Yeah,
So I
it's kind
just
of like I look at his promo stuff like I look at Samoa Joe's in ring stuff. Like we've talked about how Samoa Joe is like in the ring, he's common sense. Of course, if I
yeah,
see someone jump to the top rope, I'm just gonna move because why wouldn't I? I know what he's gonna do.
nope.
So, and that's how I see Kevin. Kevin's promos are all just common sense stuff.
Yeah,
He's the only one like with the Elias stuff. He's the only one that looks at it and go, "Y'all are stupid. That's Elias. It's obvious that's Elias. Where's Elias if Ezekiel's here now?" Like it's all
just
just
the way they have done all of this with Kevin, I can't. The funny thing is, every time the bloodline's out, they're chanting for Sammy.
yeah.
And Jimmy and Jay were both just uncomfortable looking during this whole thing, too. And I'm
Oh yeah.
like, how crazy would it be that they turn on Roman and Sammy takes over the bloodline?
So I have
That's
a
your second
theory
one, isn't
about
it?
that. I have a theory about that, and we'll talk
Okay.
about that in one of the promos later because there's something the Roman says that makes me think, "Ooh, that was a weird way to say that."
Okay.
Um, so before Owens leaves, though, he obviously has to take one little stab at Sammy. Whether this is a plan or not, he has to do one little stab, and he says, "And Sammy, I'll see you whenever you grab your balls out of Roman's pocket."
Which was
And
such
then
a nice
walks away.
line.
Yeah, just says it and walks away. Um, Ironically enough, we have a Rampage special on SmackDown. Um, so Kofi and Xavier are backstage in an interview, and Santos walks up and just says, "Hey, it's Kofi. Kofi has all these."
We're gonna start calling it the Rampage, just like Teddy Long with
That's
the tag team. Playa.
that's right.
This is
That's
yep.
what it
It's the
is. That's a
Rampage
Rampage
special.
special.
There it
It's when
is.
you just pass people in the hallway. You're like, "We're gonna have a match." But he talks about like how uh, Kofi has all these Royal Rumble spots, and like he's got this legacy behind him, and basically just that he wants to prove that he's better. Um, so it's a fun little match. It's good to see a match that Kofi just gets to have fun in because
Yeah.
that's all it was. It was just fun. They did the Royal Rumble spots where like first
Kofi
Santos tries
landed
to
on.
throw Kofi out, and Kofi keeps his feet up there and waddles back over. And then immediately he throws Santos out, who falls to the floor, and he goes, "Ha! Like
Right.
you would have been eliminated." Later, Santos tries to do the same thing. He gets thrown out and he lands and he's on the steel steps and he's like, "Ha, see, I would have been fine." And then Xavier blows the trombone, scares him off the stairs, and goes, "Ha, you would have been eliminated." To me, though,
I missed that. That's funny.
star of the match to me was Xavier. Xavier in there. Kofi hits an SOS, and then the camera pans to Xavier, and he does. I don't know the actual words, but the beginning of Kofi's old theme that I always thought sounded like "And it's Shelton." I'm like, this is Shelton Benjamin. But
no.
He does that. At one point, he points to the crowd, pointing at Santos, and goes, "Boo this man!"
If you give Xavier Woods TV time and a chance, he's stealing the show.
Absolutely.
I love him. Like, everybody's like, I want to, all these dream things. I just want to hang out for a day with the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like my face would hurt from laughing so much.
Absolutely. Like, well, it's like I said, like at one point, you and I were talking. It was just like, hey, if we could ever get someone onto this podcast, who would you want? Xavier's my first one. Like 9 times out of 10, I would love for him to get on here and just us chat with him.
I just want Big E for the big meaty men slapping meat.
Tell me, all right. So you want Goldberg versus Goldberg versus Goldberg? What about King Kong Bundy versus King Kong Bundy versus King Kong Bundy?
I don't want no 5-star matches. Bump that.
Big meaty men slapping meat. Oh, sweet Jesus.
That will always, and part of what made that so funny was Xavier's laugh the whole time. He's losing it.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. Yes, no, Xavier's amazing, and I would enjoy the hell out of a conversation with him. It'd be so great.
So to end this match, though, Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde both neutralized Xavier Woods at ringside, allowing Zelina to get the distraction, which allowed Escobar to win with a Phantom Driver and a pinfall victory. Good ending. I'm good with it. Like, it doesn't hurt.
I agree. It doesn't.
It doesn't hurt Kofi at all.
It doesn't hurt Kofi or Xavier. It doesn't hurt the NXT tag titles. It doesn't hurt anything.
Yep. We get a little
great
backstage
match overall.
Yeah. We get a little backstage segment. We got Sammy that's, trying to see if he can walk into the locker room and see Roman. He gets stopped by Heyman. He's trying to almost like, I need to talk to him. I need to apologize. I need to talk to him. Now's not the time, Sammy. Now's not the time. The Usos walk by him and immediately walk in there, which then kind of, again, it's a little downtrodden. Funny line to me is he kind of taps him on the shoulder. He's like, "Hey, but I still love you." And then he walks in.
And he calls him like Smooshy or something. And I'm like, this is so good. I'm pretty sure it's a Jewish word.
Yes.
That he's using, a Jewish name he's using, which is just such a perfect little touch.
It's Paul.
It's so...
That's one of the, like, if you ever get to see like some of his interviews he does where he talks about like him and Brock's relationship, he leans into the Jewish stuff so much on those, and I
funny.
Love it.
So funny. It's like I'm the one Jew he left alive to tell the story. He said that in an interview, and I'm like,
yeah, it's absolutely great.
Only Paul could come up with that,
and only Paul could get away with it.
Yes.
Anybody else says that, immediately canceled. But it's Paul Heyman, so this is the same man who does what he does on TV and then has the Heyman hustle with has half-naked women on it, and nobody says a thing. That leads us to an interesting tag team match. Karrion Kross and Scarlett seem to have two different directions. This kind of maybe closed it to one. Maybe finally. We get Madcap Moss and Emma versus Karrion Kross and Scarlett. So the first time we get to see Moss and Emma in the ring together. They did make it very specific at the beginning of this, as this was a mixed tag team match, but it was men, women.
Right.
To make sure that we understood there was no crossing that, except for when Emma slapped a taste out of Darian's mouth.
She smacked the shit out of him.
But it was a good match. I mean, it was what it needed to be, which is both Moss and Emma got some offense off,
Yeah.
but at the end of it, it was very much like cross hammer, cross jacket submission, uh, and Moss taps out. It was good to see Scarlett in the ring. Um, that's something I know a lot of us have been waiting on because she's good in
Yeah.
the ring,
Yeah.
and it's one of those though. Like we talk about how we're glad they talk about the past of wrestlers. They really made it sound like we've never seen Scarlett wrestle before. I mean, okay, but to me, it would have made more sense of like we haven't seen her here. Like just throwing that extra word in there. We've never seen her wrestle here. Um, After the match, Cross held Moss while Scarlett put the Rey Mysterio mask on him. So it seems like we're closing the loop on the Moss and Emma thing, leaning more towards the Rey Mysterio thing. So
Yeah.
kind of glad to see that we're closing one of those out because I was really confused at what direction we were going with having both of these storylines kind of together. Um, Backstage, we have LA Knight. He's cutting a promo about his Mountain Dew pitch black match. No idea what the hell this is. I've had so many promos about this. Um, Whether it's going to be like just a lights out match, maybe, or just have spotlights on the ring. I don't know. We get a shot of Charlotte getting to the arena, and she's in a really fancy car. Uh,
And in a really fantastic looking outfit.
yeah. However, she changes out of that fantastic outfit really damn quickly because then she's coming to the ring. Uh, so uh, I want to assume maybe I just misheard, and hopefully it was like she arrived earlier in the day. That was
I
just a
think it
shot of
was.
her
I
earlier
think
in
it
the
was
day
a earlier today thing.
because it very much was like she pulls up and then she's out in the ring in her ring gear. And
There
I'm
was
like,
a little
okay,
bit of time, but
wow,
yeah, it seemed like it was really close, but I think it was earlier today.
yep. So she gets out there and um, right off the bat, she's just very much like, thank you guys. I missed you guys. Um, the crowd responds with a thank you, Charlotte, after she mentioned something about Ronda knowing what payback is.
Right.
And
The
she,
fans' hate for Ronda is a completely justified, and I'm here for every bit of it. Keep it
yeah,
up.
she kind of popped and she said, I'm really surprised. I never thought I would have ever heard a thank you, Charlotte. So thank you guys for that. She mentions that, uh, that they're, whether she's good and then she gets a little bit of cheer, or whether she's bad and then she gets a little bit of cheer, and she goes, or woo, and then they cheer, and then she immediately cuts it off, which we've mentioned in another video. Like, that's good. Like, don't make that a constant go to.
She's
Let's,
staying away from it, and
yeah,
I'm much happier about it because yes, she's Charlotte Flair. She is who
mm-hmm,
she is.
yeah,
But you don't have to keep leaning on it at this point. You're on your own now, babe. You don't need it.
yep. You are a 14 times. You are 2 times away from tying your dad for how many times you've had a world championship. You're fine. You don't need to hang on that anymore.
Yeah.
But she immediately curbs that and says, "I may be a lot of things, but one thing I'm not is complacent." Uh, at this point, Sonya Deville comes out, um, which is basically like random. Is lamb to the slaughter is all it was. We need we need someone for Charlotte to beat up this week. Um, so she comes out there. They have a little bit of a back and forth. Um, the crowd starts chanting, "Whoop that trick," which is
Yes.
a fun little pop. In which case, Flair laughs and then looks at Deville and goes, "I think they're calling you a trick." Which then riles up Sonya. She takes off the gear, and he said they have reference that she's a real fighter. She is the real fighter, and then that leads to a match between the two of them.
Which
Um,
is exactly how we expected it.
Absolutely. Babyface Flair just annihilated her.
Charlotte
like you
Spear
said,
has gotten better.
yes. She's been doing a lot of work with Andrade, and I think it's helping her.
I do too. Because it's a different
Putting a little bit
style.
smoother. Yeah. Making it a little more smooth in the ring. But not that Sonya didn't get some kickback in this
Right.
match. Like she got some offense, but definitely Charlotte weathered the storm, ended up coming out on it, got the win. This is going to be fun. That's all I can say.
I agree.
And I never thought I would say that about Charlotte, but this
I
is
agree.
definitely going to be fun. Um, this leads us to a Royal Rumble qualifying match between Ricochet and Top Dollar. Um, I don't know. It was
Kofi
nice.
just said, I'm in, and he's in, but now we're having qualifying matches? Is
That's
Kofi the only
Kofi though.
smart person on the roster?
Well, yeah.
How has
Kofi
nobody else gone, oh, I'm going to be in the Rumble?
Kofi's been there since like '85 when Hacksaw won a Battle Royal. So Grandpa knows what he's doing.
I would not hate Kofi winning the Rumble,
I wouldn't either.
especially on a crazy spot like that, like he does, where somebody's celebrating and he comes back in and gets the win. I think it would be deserved. I think the crowd would eat that shit up. And it doesn't matter who has the title, Kofi's going to have a good match with him.
Yeah, I'd rather it be Woodsy though.
I agree.
I want Woods to win. I want him to go against Roman because he's the only person who's pinned him since he's became the tribal chief.
Yep.
Anyway, so I did like when they introduced Ricochet. They still mentioned that he had won the World Cup, so they're keeping that in part of his accolades when they introduce him.
But he didn't have it. I wonder if Shane took it back.
Possibly. I mean, it's probably there with the lockbox that has all the NDAs in it that his dad has. The ones we don't know about yet. So
if you're watching this and haven't watched the Kicking Out at 2 wrestling news, that was a reference. Go back and watch it.
Ricochet versus Top Dollar. It was better. I liked Top Dollar a little more in this.
I did too.
So hopefully this type of thing gets them over. But them being heels. Basically, we end up with the match. Top Dollar fell to the ring with a shooting star press from Ricochet. So he pins him. He gets a shot at being in the Royal Rumble. Then post match, Hit Row, like they're raising his hand, trying to be all good guys, like, hey, beef squashed, we're done. And then they laid him out.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
Dante
Ashante
hit him with that super kick and knocked his head off.
Yeah. And then Top Dollar picks him up, talks trash to him. You think you're better than me. You think I'm just a joke. And B-Fab just absolutely trash talking from the side.
I think that because, like we were talking on the news earlier, I read some that this is kind of like their last chance because they're not getting a response.
They're not, and they're very
they're
one-dimensional as baby faces. Hopefully, this
Yeah,
twists that a little bit.
I hope so.
Because here's the thing, like I don't know about Top Dollar, but the guy is entertaining.
Yeah.
He used to do hosting for like the treasures hunting show that they had for WWE for a little while. We're not supposed to know this, but Mick Foley's doing it this season. But like he was doing it and he was entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
And like he had some real moments because they did an Andre episode and Andre was like a big inspiration for him because he's a big dude.
Nice. Yeah.
And so like he got some real moments with him too. He's a very entertaining guy. And he hasn't found that thing yet.
I hope
it's a heel
run. That's and like we were talking about earlier, I definitely think putting Carmelo Hayes with them when they bring him up is a good thing because Carmelo can talk, he can wrestle. Like Swerve with them was great because Swerve is that guy.
Yeah.
He's 100% that guy. Like He's would be the Rock in any group that he's in. He's gonna be that guy.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing with with all three of them are decent on the mic.
Swerve is next
BFAB,
level.
BFAB can rap, and so can Top Dollar, but they can't rap every day. Like they can't rap
Right.
all their promos. They can't do it. Um, and because of that, you need someone who can just talk on the mic. They're good for the hits, for the hit points at the strong points of the interview, but
Yeah.
you need someone that can actually run the conversation.
That can carry
And
the interview.
yeah, and so I think that's what we're missing.
That's what they
Um,
had with Swerve, and I definitely think if they bring Carmelo up by himself, it's a great place to put him.
yeah, absolutely.
Or even have
Um,
them go down for a little bit and come back with him.
yeah, bring him with them. Like they come down there to save him from something. Um, could be interesting. We go backstage again, and we have Roman Reigns talking to Paul. Tells him to go get Sammy. So we're about to have it. After the commercial, a video package aired having Braun Strowman versus Gunther, the Intercontinental Championship next week. Hopefully, it's a good match. We go backstage. Zayn is immediately like, "I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be you. I'm not trying to be like you. And if I've done anything or said anything that has made it seem like I'm trying to do that, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do that. I'm really sorry."
Right.
And then Reigns just calmly says, "I don't accept your apology." The look on Paul's face when he said that, and Paul, like, he was over there by Sammy, and then he says that, and then he drifts toward the corner. Like, I'm getting as far away from Sami Zayn as I possibly can. Um, but he says the reason I'm not going to, though, is because nobody deserves to be talked to like you were talked to. This is the point where I'm hoping Jay sees what happens here and goes, "No one deserves to be talked to like that. I was your whipping boy for freaking 6 months.
And you never talk to me like that.
You never apologized to me for the shit you said."
Right.
So,
And
it,
again, that happens, or even if Jay says something about it to Jimmy or Sammy
yeah,
without saying it to Roman, it still starts that little
yeah.
just
So
that little wedge in there.
I think that'd be a good touch of that. But so, um, that leads to like Sammy seems a little bit happier now. I mean, really, just the waterboarding of this, the mental manipulation of this. Um, I mean, this is a bad relationship to a T, because Roman's taking it all on himself. Like, "I'm sorry, I was the bad guy, baby. I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Blame it all on me. I'm sorry. No one should talk to you like that. And then he's going to talk to him like that again next week. Um, so what ends up happening is, so he tells the wise man, he's like, I think we got a plan. I think we know what we're going to do. And wise man comes, sits down, and brushes off Sammy's knee and says, "Yeah, you're going to have an opportunity to make this up to the tribal chief. You're to prove your spot. Next week, you're going to take on Kevin Owens." And Sammy,
And Sammy was like, Okay." Like, he
yeah.
hesitated for a second, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no. There's a plan."
Well, and the fun part to me about it is like he started to talk about how we, the bloodline, are going to take care of this, and he stops himself and goes, "I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to take care of this KO problem." And so, to me, that means he loses next week again, because again, he wasn't able to take care of it.
Yeah.
Um, but
Which is
anyway,
gonna upset Roman and just keep building to Rumble.
yeah. Um, so as this comes to a close, Zayn says, like, I gotta go. We're seeing the entrances on the TV that they're watching. And he's like, "Hey, I gotta go. I gotta get out there." And he goes, "No, no, 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 no. Stay in here. Watch it with me." Separating him a little bit from the bloodline, which is kind of nice. Uh,
The
but in
little things.
but in Sammy's eyes, and that's the fun thing about this. In Sammy's eyes, oh, he wants me to stay. He
It's an
wants me
honor.
here. Yeah. So so good, so good. Um, so him and Reigns watch this match together. Um, you get McIntyre and Sheamus out. Um, they're now calling them the Banger Brothers. Okay.
Well, because they had the little clip earlier with them in the bar,
Yeah.
and it was funny because they were basically punching each other going back and forth,
Yeah.
and then they started the banger after banger with all the bar patrons at Jerry Lawler's place, of course.
Yes.
Sure, there's an 18-year-old working the bar that Jerry's dating. Um,
There's some NDAs there too.
right. So we knew they weren't winning this match,
Yeah.
but if the Usos were going to lose a match to anybody they wrestled recently since the New Day, this was it.
This was the only thing that I lean on and go, I can get them still winning this match is even though we're in like a the bar situation. They have been at each other for so many years. They've known each other for so many years. They should make a good tag team, but still they haven't tagged that often.
Right.
So I'm okay with them losing for that reason because
Yeah.
they shouldn't be as good of a tag team as the greatest tag team going today. Um, but so basically, like late interference from Solo Sikoa took McIntyre out of the action, forcing Sheamus to go at it alone in the final moments of the match. Basically, Jay Uso rolled up Sheamus to score the win. So fairly sneaky, quick win
Yeah.
for them.
It was Sammy's
I
reaction that was
yeah, Sammy humping the popcorn bucket. Um, I do love the long term storytelling though of Sammy has a bucket of popcorn, he offers it to Roman. Roman's like, nah, and then the next time we see them, Roman's got a bucket of popcorn himself. Great stuff.
Sammy throwing that popcorn around and just messing up the room. But no, this was a great show. It was a
Yeah,
great show start to finish.
yeah, it was a great show. I definitely think that this match is going to run back at some point because I think we need to give them a good fight. I think this at some
I
point
think
this has got to happen again.
I think it's one of those that it will either they'll run this back as like a no DQ, and Butch and Ridge will come out, Sammy and Solo will come out, they cancel each other out, and we just have a fight because it's Friday night and it's fight night.
Fight night, yeah.
Thank you,
Um,
Mitchell Cole.
I also like the fact so there was a 1D hit to Sheamus, uh, but it wasn't kicked out of. McIntyre
Right.
stopped the count, so we're still keeping that a strong finish, which we need to. I mean, you took the 3D, which in the history of the 3D, if I remember correctly, one person has ever kicked out of it, and so we got to keep that strong. Keep that to be a strong finish. Um, what's really nice though, also the Brawling Brutes, Ridge Holland and Butch arrived and fought Sokoa to the back, so it was good to
Yeah.
see them back in it. I was kind of worried
Yeah.
that something was going on with those two,
Right.
specifically Butch, because I know a lot of people
Yeah.
right now. It's reported like Piper Niven,
Dewdrop.
Blair,
Yeah.
Davenport, they're stuck in visa issues right now, and so I was
Oh,
worried that that's why we haven't
I
seen the
didn't know
Brawling Brutes in
that.
a while. Um, because if he was stuck over there too with visa issues, then
Yeah.
kind
Hmm.
of stuck.
So since we're talking about SmackDown, they of course had a Lacey promo, "Please God Save Us All," where she
Yep.
used the Cobra Clutch. and I just happened to be scrolling through Twitter for a moment, and somebody tweeted at Sergeant Slaughter, "You gave Lacey your blessing to use the Cobra Clutch, didn't you?" And Slaughter responded with, "Lacey who?"
I get he's trying to be funny. However, he also said that he had no problem being her manager.
Oh, he would, yeah. Just stop with her, please. Stop.
Let's see.
So overall, good show. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I feel like the SmackDown and Raw are on an even plane again,
Mm-hmm.
whereas for a while they weren't. It was all SmackDown all the time because it was better. So, and the replies to this post are pretty fucking hilarious too.
I hope they're digging the hell into her.
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of gifs of people laughing and making. Yeah, no, this is
Some of your favorite replies are going on there right now.
okay. The Becky one is pretty solid, where she's at the announce table with her big time Bex gimmick, and she's got the glasses on, and she's like, "Ooh."
Um,
The Roman laughing from Friday night is on there.
what from Friday night?
Roman laughing.
Oh,
Like a
yeah.
3-second little clip, 4-second little clip
That's
of that maniacal laugh you were talking about.
that's gonna be a meme for a while.
Oh yeah.
I was looking to see if there's anything previewing for Monday to see what we have to look forward to. The only thing that's really on there right now is apparently we're going to get an interview segment from Alexa Bliss to explain her brutal actions against the women's champion. So
Okay.
we're definitely going to get at least some word of what's going on there.
Some more Alexa stuff.
Yep, which I'm fine
I'm
with.
sure we'll have another Royal Rumble qualifying match because people aren't smart enough to go, "Hey, I'm going to be in the Rumble."
I'm saying it right now. It is 9:30, January 7th, 2023. I'm going to be in the Rumble.
You can be like Curtis Axel, longest time in the Rumble ever.
Screw that. No, I want to be like Drew Carey. I want to hop in there and jump over the top rope. Get out.
Just eliminate yourself.
Whoop.
Same. I'd climb in and be like, "Nope, just hop out and be gone."
I go there and do a Jarrett strut, and then
I don't want a Santino time record. Don't put that on me.
nope.
That's Santino's.
Well, I don't know if they got to pay me for every time they show that clip.
I mean, that's fair. If I'm getting gratuity out of it, like
I'll hop right over and hop right back out.
Right. Whatever y'all want to do. Fuck. Somebody can pick me up and throw me out. I don't care. If you're gonna pay me enough for it.
That's right. Job Squad. Pin me, pay me. All right. I think we're going to close this out. Thank you for spending your time with us. If you're enjoying our podcast, please support us. Share this episode and our channel with your friends. Hit the little notification bell, all the fun stuff. Hit us up on our personal socials. Right here below us is our personal socials. Underneath that is the actual channel socials. Watch us on our new TikTok. TikTok is a fun place for a lot of people, apparently. But we have great things like Who Betta and I Need 5 and Guess Woo! So, plus you get to see us just act like idiots. So that's always fun.
That's a given pretty much any time, though.
If you want to catch up on our entire back catalog, you can hit it right here on youtube.com at Kicking Out of 2. Until next time, I am Michael. This is Tori, and we'll see you on the next one.